Life in communist Poland was hard. Prices were high and income was low, and the people protested against this, not against the regime for ideological purposes, but simply because their life was very bad. Economic crisis in the 70s led to formation of a large trade union called the Solidarity. The leader of this Solidarity was a man named Lech Wałęsa. He's actually still alive as of 30 September 2025. Now, the union was a great success, and that's because the government ended up accepting all their 21 demands. So, some of their demands were as follows. They wanted an increase in wages, they wanted the end to censorship, they wanted same welfare benefits for everyone, broadcasting of church services, because remember, Catholic Church is very important in Poland, and they also wanted the right to elect factory managers by themselves. Now, the solidarity was successful due to various reasons. For example, some of the reasons are as follows. The union was involved in the heavy industry, and if they did a general strike, then it could actually harm the Polish economy. This wasn't something the government could risk. So government was like, let's just listen to their demands instead of have the whole country come to a screeching halt. And then, because it was not officially an anti communist organization and wasn't seen as one, also, its membership continued to grow. At its peak, it had like 9.5, 9.4 million members, which is almost three quarters of Poland's population. And Lech Wałęsa was a gifted speaker. He did not publicly mention stuff that could, provoke the USSR. And the union had support of the Catholic Church, which, as like I said earlier, was very popular in Poland. And the Pope at that time, John Paul II, was himself Polish. So you can understand there was a personal connection between the Catholic Church supporting this union. And the government was actually waiting for the solidarity to break up. And in the meantime, behind the scenes, the government was, planning to impose martial law. So they just agreed to the demands for the time being. From the government's perspective, solidarity was a problem and solution was coming. But until the solution came, they had to, tolerate them. And also, there was a lot of public knowledge about the movement. And because of that, it was hard for the USSR to intervene because like the whole world would say, okay, you did this because of this, and so on. Now, martial law did come. In Feb 1981, the civil government's prime minister resigned, and General Jaruzelski declared martial law. So first, they had talks for a shared government between him and Wałęsa, but eventually the talks failed. And so Jaruzelski just called the Red Army for assistance. They invaded and they arrested almost 10,000 Solidarity leaders and suspended Solidarity itself. And by the way, in case you guys don't know, Jaruzelski is actually seen as a traitor by many today in Poland. Now, there were actually reasons why Solidarity got crushed. Some of these reasons are that the government first claimed that they had evidence Solidarity was planning on, creating an independent government in Poland. Or you can say a parallel government, a government that would run separately from the main government. And it was behaving more like a political party, and most importantly, Poland was sinking into an economic crisis because of their strikes and stuff. But the greatest reason was probably the fact that Solidarity by this point had broken up into factions, and there was no discipline amongst the members themselves. But either way, Solidarity managed to highlight the shortcomings of communism. A system that was supposed to help common people was only making them suffer more. That's what it highlighted. But that's not the only thing. because they highlighted something even more interesting. The Soviet Red Army support was the only thing backing up communism in many places. People weren't fans of it. So, like you saw, solidarity was growing and growing, okay? Then General Jaruzelski came and he asked the Red Army to come and help him. And then they were the ones who, pushed solidarity back. So somehow, if people realize that if somehow we can get the Red Army out of this equation, then in many places communism will actually collapse. And all this actually happened. But how? That's something we will discuss in the next video. For now, I would like to thank you for watching.